At pati dun sa ating mga past commitments na dapat di natin nalilimutan. Ang magandang point na lumabas po is meron pala tayong 2-year left in the time frame that we have to comply with our commitments under the decommissioning annex.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so,
2 years.
And then, tama ba yung pagkaintindi ko? For the 2024 NEP, we are not funding anything doon? Or kulang?
Kulang na kulang talaga.
Yung ba yung 10% na nabanggit kanina? Or less than 10% na nabanggit kanina? Yun po yun?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, yeah, so maling strategy po yata yun na if we have only 2 more years. Is it 2 more years or 2 more years after 2024? Or 3 more years from now? Ano ba?
Your Honor, supposed to be the decommissioning phase is only up to year 2022, but it was extended up to 2025. So more or less 2 years remaining, Your Honor.
Sige po, pero parang maling strategy, parang hindi proportional yung ating budgeting, no? Parang may balloon. We need to fund it in bulk during the last few years. No? So there's something wrong with our approach. So siguro if the secretary can discuss this budget sa cabinet, you know, that the Senate has his support on this. Pero of course, it's a question of the availability of resources kasi 9.7 billion is what we need to fund. So, for the next 2 years, bale. Okay, sige po. We get it, Mr. President. Oh, sige. So with that realization, may wish list pa ba ang OPAPRO? Do you have a wish list for 2024 na hindi pa po nakasama sa aming Senate Committee report? Tandaan natin, ang Senate Committee report namin, saan ba yun? Increased even increase your budget.
Yes. Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
yung kanilang wish list ay nakalagay naman sa unprogram.
Ayun. Okay.
Unfunded, unprogram.
Unprogram.
Ha? Unprogram. So unprogram, Your Honor.
The entirety of the wish list nasa unprogram.
Yes, Your
Okay, so,
Honor.
okay.
It's a total of 899 million
Okay.
766 thousand.
Okay. The budget reflects the priorities of the administration. So kung lahat po ng inyong wish list ay in-accommodate sa budget na prepared by the executive branch, that means you are really being prioritized by the administration.
No, it's the Senate version, Your Honor. We're the ones who placed
Yes,
this,
sir. But our Senate version, ang adjustment natin, 51 million lang. 51.5 million. Internally, nag-adjust po tayo internally, meaning to say we decrease some amounts and then we increase some items to the same amount. So,
Yes, Your
hindi
Honor.
gumalaw yung... So, since yan na po yung pinag-usapan natin, may we know sa anong adjustments ni subcommittee? Ano po yung ginalaw natin sa amounts sa OPAPRO budget, Mr. President?
We have realigned the 51 million from the capital outlay to MOOA to fund the coordination, monitoring, and evaluation activities of the Pamana program, Your Honor. Plus the DAN program.
Yes, okay. So, yung program, pag-usapan na lang. Well, anyway, basta it reflects the priorities of the administration, pero better still sana kung nasa program. But at least, nandyan po tayo sa budget in the program. And we have a chance may chance pa rin ma-fund po yan, Mr. President. Siguro, appeal na lang to the Secretary and to the entire office to address the COA items. No? So, try your best, try your very best. Minanan lang po ninyo yung issues na yon. And then, na-accommodate po ba natin yung request ng National Amnesty Commission, Mr. President? Kasama doon sa ating committee report?
Yes, Your Honor. Kasama po lahat.
Okay. Ang figure kasi sa akin, ang request is 60 million. Paano natin na-accommodate yun when we made adjustments of 50...
The 60 million na
51.5 million. Yeah. Ang
60
adjustments
million.
natin, 51.5. Ang request is 60 million. Paano natin na-accommodate po yun?
no, it's included in the unprogram, Your Honor.
Saan
The
program
60.
na ilagay?
60. Unprogram.
Okay. Sige, and then can we get the reaction of the Secretary? There's a request that we introduce a special provision that the amount of 88,469,000 appropriated herein under the locally funded projects shall be lodged directly with NAC, the National Amnesty Commission, and used exclusively for the operationalization and implementation of the programs, activities, and projects of the NAC. Is this-
Yes, Your Honor, it's already included in our committee report. Yes,
Thank you
Your Honor.
very much. So, very proactive ang ating subcommittee chair na yung aking opisina ay behind na sa curve. Nagawa na. So, ako papunta pa lang, pabalik na si chairman. Done that na po siya.
But it's not unprogram, ha? Program yan. Program, di ba? Sa special provisions.
Special provision. Okay, the special provision. Yes, siguro. No. So do we have to be clear that we are referring to an appropriation in the unprogrammed?
Additional na po itong 60, Your Honor.
In addition pa to.
No, in
Okay.
addition ito.
Okay.
Opo.
In addition to the 88
88,
million
yeah.
po. Okay, thank
In
you.
addition to the 88.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So yung 60 million, when if ever these are funded and then released, will follow the spirit of the special provision, directly lodged with the NAC.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ganun na mangyayari. Okay. For as long as that's clear, Mr. President, okay na po, Mr. President. May we get, siguro last topic na lang po, po ito, no? May we get the inputs from the office and from the Secretary on what measures are being taken to address the killings and disappearances associated with the communist insurgency, Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. President, Your Honor, OPAPRO differs to the law enforcement agencies on the measures to address killings and disappearance associated with communist groups. So, makipagtulungan na lang sa law enforcement agencies, Your Honor.
Wala ba tayong parang filosofiya na gusto natin i-share sa kanila o panawagan na, Mr. President? Do we want to be that detached, Mr. President, and
Yes, Your Honor, OPAPRO, in coordination with all members of the security cluster, is advocating for the observance of the rule of law. Yung kanilang rules of engagement na mini-maintain ngayon ng Armed Forces of the Philippines ay emphasis noon ay talagang observance of the rule of law. Yung rules of engagement na ino-observe by the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And it is being monitored by the whole security cluster, not only the Department of National Defense, but kasama na dyan lahat, pati na yung DOJ, yung National Security Council, OPAPRO, they are always saying to it that the rules of engagement with emphasis on the observance of the rule of law ay talaga ma-observe in all undertakings by the operating units, Your Honor.
and the rule of law puts high value to human life, Mr. President?
Yes, Your
Basta implied na po yan.
Titapos.
For the same, Mr. President, Senator Tolentino wants to interject something. Say, pare, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, yes,
And
Senator.
if I may add, Mr. President, Your Honor, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is very consistent. Every year, topping the list of most trusted government agency, national government agency. So palagi po yan, every year, number 1 palagi ang Armed Forces of the Philippines, most trusted. So siguro, that's quite an indicator that the rule of law is really being observed as far as the rules of engagement of the armed forces is concerned.
If
Mr.
okay with
President,
the chair recognizes Senator Tolentino.
the permission of the two gentlemen, just a minor interjection, which I think is germane to the topic at hand. May we know from the good sponsor his views on the latest intervention made by a United Nations rapporteur who was here for 10 days, lambasting NTF LCAC program for being anti-human rights because of some perceived violations relative to climate change initiatives. Perhaps the query made by the good minority leader has something to do likewise with this seemingly intrusive misobservance of a foreigner named Mr. Fry delving into our affairs and as to how we should end communist insurgency here. Palagay niyo, tama ba yung sinabi nila na may nakialam na naman lumabas ngayon, kalalabas lang ata ngayon yung statement?
Maybe, Your Honor, he's one of the most misinformed foreigner who set foot in this country. Baka ang narinig lang niya ng mga na side ay yun doon lang sa kabilang side. Hindi niya napakinggan yung side ng gobyerno.
So was the OPAPRO involved during the visit preparations or of this UN observer? This is a breaking news. Kalalabas lang po nito, mainit-init pa ito.
OPAPRO is not involved,
So hindi
Your Honor.
sila na-involved. So kalalabas lang.
Had they been involved, for sure, magbabago yung paningin ng foreigner na yun sa NTF LCAC.
So
Kung in-involve nila OPAPRO, they will be informed accordingly. Hindi naman po sa porke na sa gobyerno tayo, pero yung tama lang na information dapat nakakarating sa kanila.
So this will be the news for tomorrow, that UN observer calling for the recommending that all NTF LCAC activities be stopped. Yes, this is a breaking news. That's why I interjected. Yes, so lahat ng ginagawa titigil na raw kasi it is anti-human rights and it will not end. So it will not end the conflict due to his mission is supposed to be for climate change activities. Hindi ko alam ba't siya napunta ron.
That is why we are in quandary right now, Your Honor. NTF LCAC is all about good governance and delivery of basic services to the communities. And they are not involved in armed confrontation with the enemies of the state. And why they are lambasting the NTF LCAC? Maybe they are being fed with the wrong information, Your Honor. And I hope
totally
they can be
agree.
corrected.
I totally agree, Mr. President, Your Honor. That's why the peace process is really a very fluid dynamics that would involve not just local conditions, current events, even the appropriate resources, allocation of the government, and other societal factors that probably would be beyond the comprehension of foreign observers going here. Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor. It's very clear.
So
Clear as day.
that will be the news for tomorrow. And your committee just made a response to that observation coming from an alleged UN observer. Thank you, Mr. Minority Leader. Thank you, Mr. President, for allowing this short interjection.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr.
Senator
President.
Pimentel is recognized.
So siguro, Mr. President, we after the after our questioning, it's very clear that the chairman of our subcommittee has designed properly and accurately and appropriately the budget for the OPAPRU for 2024, at least for 2024. No? Lahat ng issues na raise ko, lahat ng proposed amendments ko, tapos na, nagawa na po niya. So, I commend our subcommittee chairman for being an expert on the subject matter and for having anticipated all of the issues and accommodated all of the requests. So, congratulations, Mr. Sponsor, and we wish the OPAPRU, led by Secretary Galvez, all the best. Sir, request na lang, medyo complex kasi itong topics nito. You're implementing or executing a couple of agreements, peace agreements, and other agreements with annexes. So always keep us informed, not only of the latest developments, but remind us of what is there, what are the contents of all of these agreements, parate, if possible, para we will appreciate the situation, and then pagdating ng budget process talaga, although the executive has prioritized all of the commitments, we will appreciate it and maybe even suggest some augmentation or support. Pero syempre, we have to know where to get it. So ganun talaga yung prioritization yan eh. So if this is the priority, that means some other PAPs will have to wait because this is the more urgent and prioritized PAPs. So once again, we thank the OPAPRU family, wish them all the best, and congratulate our sponsor, Mr. President. He is very well prepared with the budget that he is defending. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Actually, Mr. President, Minority Leader, kahit naitanong mo pa yung mga questions mo about the COA observations, I am very ready to give you the answers. But you said already that you're no longer going to ask those questions. So we're okay. Thank you, Mr. President, Minority Leader.
Pero by next year, Mr. President, sana kung maminosa na o kung pwedeng totally ma-eliminate na. Pero pag mag-reappear sa next year, then we talk about it. Yes. Okay.
Yes, Mr. President, for the record, your Senate Committee on Finance recommended budget for the Dangerous Drugs Board is 334 million pesos in new appropriations, and for Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency is 4.07 billion pesos in new appropriations, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the permission of our sponsor, if I may proceed, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor.
We will try our visits. It's already 7 p.m. and susunod pa yung DAR and DA.
Yeah.
This is also very important. We'll try to keep our interpellation short and sweet and not hallucinating, Mr. President. Taka ako magsisegue ngayon sa Dangerous Drugs Board, Mr. President. Mr. President,
Yes.
there is a rule, no? There's a rule that for prescriptions for so-called dangerous drugs, even to patients, the physicians, dentists, veterinarians, and other medical practitioners are to secure a special prescription. Is this a DDB requirement, imposed requirement?
Yes, Your Honor. It is stated in Republic Act 9165, Your Honor.
Yes.
Of the Dangerous Drugs Act.
The principle is there, pero the identification of what these dangerous drugs are, nasa kamay ng DDB. Apa.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, and so that means the DDB issues the special prescription form or authority, special license yata to.
The license, Your Honor, is being issued by padilla, and the regulation is being exercised by the Dangerous Drugs Board.
Meaning to say, as to yung specific drugs that we need that the medical practitioner can prescribe under a special license issued by PDEA. Okay, we get it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi kahapon sa DOH, may program sila, close to 1 billion pesos yon for mental health commodity items which will be available sa barangay health center. Are those medicines, mga 30 medicines daw yun, to be made available to the barangay health centers for mental health condition? Are those 30 medicines already known to the PDEA? And do this need special license for dispensing, Mr. President?
According to the DDB, Your Honor, not yet.
Please coordinate with
Not
the
yet.
DOH para...
They just met Your Honor yesterday from with the Pain Society of the Philippines
Pain.
because some of these drugs are not dangerous.
Okay.
So
Not, okay.
no need for license and
Correct.
special prescription from the
So
DDB.
most likely, since Barangay Health Center ang availability nitong 30 meds na to, these are not in the list. Ano bang tawag doon sa list? Parang may A, B at A, B ba yan, Mr. President?
It's called the Controlled Medicines
Controlled.
Dangerous Drugs Schedule, Your Honor.
And then how many schedules are there? Schedule 1, Schedule 2, parang gano'n, ano?
Yes, there are 4 schedules,
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. President, based on the United Nations Drug Control Convention.
Guidance lang yun. That the United Nations issuances do not bind us. But we use them as our guidance.
We are a signatory to the convention, Your Honor. So I think it's binding for us.
CBD is a cannabis extract. Is CBD a cannabis extract? Considered a cannabis extract.
Yes, Your Honor.
Diba?
Yes.
Parang all cannabis extracts yata fall within one of these schedules, di ba? So, my point, Mr. President, kaya ko to rin-raise, parang nagbago na ang attitude and policy as well as the legal rules over CBD of some countries, especially what we call the Western world, to which the Philippines is greatly exposed. So, ang kinakatakutan ko is there are some products readily available in those countries, legal, with CBD, which, unwittingly, some of our constituents and even probably visitors to the country may be bringing in. Technically, that's against the law as of the moment, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yun na.
Yes.
Now, anong alam natin na hindi nila alam o anong alam nila na hindi natin alam since the Dangerous Drugs Board is already aware of the situation, the changing attitudes as well as legal regime in other countries and scientific findings siguro, will we be adjusting our schedules, Mr. President?
Your Honor, as far as the DDB and PDI is concerned, we still follow our domestic law pertaining to drugs, and that is the Dangerous Drugs Act.
Yeah.
So we cannot just adjust right away without amending the law.
So the listing with the schedules is provided by law, not by an issuance of the DDB.
We just we follow the schedule given to us by the United Nations Drug Control Convention, Your Honor, and as far as illegal drugs is concerned, it is very clear in our 9165.
Yes,
Ano
yes,
yung-
oo. But yung specific naming, yung schedules doon, yung mga the extracts of cannabis, etc., is that part of the law or part of an issuance by the Dangerous Drugs Board pursuant to law?
It's part of the law, Your Honor, because according to the definition under Republic Act 9165, dangerous drugs include those listed in the schedules annexed to the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, as amended by the 1972 Protocol, and in the schedules annexed to the 1971 Single Convention on Psychotropic Substances, as enumerated in the attached annex, which is an integral part of this act. So meaning covered sila, Your Honor, by this
Correct.
act.
So, has the DDB added anything to that list?
There's none, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You have not added to the list. You have not subtracted from the list. Okay.
There's none, Your Honor.
Are those Western countries also a member of the treaty that we have mentioned, or the agreement we have mentioned?
Yes, Your Honor. These Western countries, around the 140 countries are signatories to the United Nations Convention on Dangerous Drugs.
Okay, so it's clear now that the terms of the treaty can be adjusted by the by a country, no? So but in the Philippine setting, ang lumalabas from the inputs of the DDB, we need to do it through law, legislation. Okay.
Yes, Your
Sige.
Honor.
We'll take a look at that, Mr. President, kasi yung cannabis yata, to correct me if I'm wrong, the science behind this, dalawa yatang elements yan, the THC and the CBD. And then ang scientific studies yata, the addictive element is the THC. Okay. Yung isa, CBD, may claimed, pero claim pa lang yan. I mean, that's not scientifically proven yet siguro. A claimed medicinal or palliative or health beneficial health effect. That's the claim, but di natin ini-endorse po yung finding na yon. So that is the case, yun lang yung ayokong mangyari. But has there been a case to the knowledge of the DDB na naging issue ang possession of a product with the CBD here in the Philippines?
Yes, Your Honor. There were several interceptions made at the airport, Your Honor, for going home Filipinos who were in possession of these drugs, Your Honor.
And legitimately available from his point of origin, tama? In the market
Yeah.
of his point of origin.
Legitimately available from
Yes.
his point of origin, but banned
Yes.
at the point of entry.
May we know how you treat such cases?
So, the same, Your Honor, we treat them as violations of law. So, confiscated ang item, then cases will be filed against these people. So, maybe kawawa rin yun. No? I get your point. Kawawa talaga yung mga Pilipino na akala nila okay na kasi okay sa Thailand. Bakit hindi okay sa Pilipinas? Ngayon, dinala na dito. Nahuli sila sa airport. Problema. So, maybe kailangan natin siguro ng public information drive
Na bawal.
according to this na bawal
Yes,
talaga ito.
na bawal. But is the DDB endorsing some revisit of the law? Change in our outlook towards this supposed to be non-addictive component called CBD?
Mr. President, according to DDB, yung inaalaw nila is yung meron lang 0.02% THC content. Medical preparation.
Medical?
Medical preparation. THC, medical preparation. 0.02.
What's
Percent.
THC?
Tetrahydrocannabidiol.
That's the THC.
Yes,
That is
THC.
supposed to be the addictive component. So, okay.
How about yung hindi addictive component?
Bawal. I mean, ako, bawal yun. Kasi I think scientific data tells us that that is the addictive component of cannabis. So, wala tayong dapat baguhin doon na Mr. President. The other component na available na ngayon sa other markets, doon lang ako nag-alala. In good faith, binili doon, akala niya legal. Siyempre, ignorance of the law excuses no one. But the point is, this is a very complicated law found in an annex pa. Annex. Oh. Have you, ayaw ko, mag-survey tayo rito. Ilan na nakabasa ng annex eh. Oh.
Well, as long as it is in a medical form that is registered in the country of origin, walang problema, Your Honor, pero iba talaga yung sinasabi mo. Iba yung gusto mong sabihin. Pero yung nga lang, we are constrained by law about our treatment. Hindi man pwede natin sabihin na hindi namin kakasuhan ito dahil naawa kami. Clearly, it's a violation of law. But as you have said, ignorance of the law excuses no one. So yan ang dilema ngayon ng padilla at DDB. Kung ano treatment talaga, kawawa talaga.
Yes, if it's a dilemma, kaya nga nagtatanong ako, wala kayong mga recommendation sa amin eh. So apparently you don't find it as a dilemma eh. Kaya kung nga rin-raise ito, kung meron ba kayong mga, yung ano ba nangyayari sa ground, ini-intercept ninyo, kinakasuhan ba ninyo? Anong penalty? Non-bailable ba? Pero bailable naman. Sige, pasagutin mo muna ito.
Does Senator Tolentino want to be recognized, or shall we wait for the answer of the sponsor?
Yes,
please proceed.
yes,
Senator Tolentino is recognized.
Mr. President, just to, with the permission of the gentleman, just to make a slight interjection. Your Honor, perhaps the good minority leader is now bordering on a very controversial boundary relative to the medicinal effects of, I'm not an expert here of cannabis, I just rise, Mr. President, because this has been a very controversial issue in so far as the results of our, one of our newly proclaimed sports heroes, the results of that doping test on Justin Brownlee, allegedly, from another country showed some traces of cannabis to treat his left sore foot. So, Mr. President, if the minority leader would intend to pursue his intention of having a new legislated annex that probably would include this very controversial area. Perhaps medical experts coming from the Department of Health would have to be the appropriate resource persons here. Baka hindi na masagot ni, although Senator De La Rosa is often referred to as Dr. De La Rosa, another field, public administration. Siguro, Mr. President, on another item, another subject matter, pag-usapan ito. But I agree, it's very pinasok sa Pilipinas, hinarang, pero itong sa kanya, tinurok na sa paa, liable ba yun? Sa ibang jurisdiction naman yun ginamot. Considering that if it is correct, wala pa hong ruling yung Switzerland dito, if it is a correct diagnosis, o baka dinaya lang tayo sa Asian Games. So, I think, Mr. President, this is very timely. Pag-aralan po siguro na magkaroon ng bagong batas tungkol dito. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, does the sponsor want to say anything?
Well, I just would like to point out, Your Honor, that during our talks with some, I just don't want to reveal these people, the names of these people, but high government officials of Thailand. Baka mamaya we will have a knee-jerk reaction to this situation, no? Na hanapan talaga natin ng paraan na legal na makapasok yan since legal doon sa ibang bansa, like for example Thailand. nakausap po natin yung mga opisyal ng ibang bansa like Thailand. Sabi nila, yes, yung legalizing all those things ay good for their tourism. Maraming tourists pumapasok doon to avail of the legal status of that particular substance. But they have problem as far as their children are concerned. Kasi itong mga tindahan na ito ay walang limit kahit saan nilalagay. Kahit nasa gilid ng eskwelahan, merong ganitong mga vending machine na anytime they can avail of that, then ang mga bata can easily access to this. So, problema rin nila yan ngayon. Sinabi nila sa akin, pero hindi lang nila alam kung talagang yan ay official statement ng kanilang gobyerno, kaya ayaw nilang, hindi ko lang muna silang i-quote
Yes.
officially.
But that's not, that's beyond what we're talking about.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
President.
yes.
I mean,
Yes. I am
hindi
just
po yan,
moving forward.
Hindi,
I'm just moving forward, Your Honor.
Malayong-malayo na po yan because that includes
I'm just moving forward.
planting, growing, and even recreational use of, that's not our topic, Mr. President. Yun lang ako, there's a phenomenon happening, yun na nga, that an extract of cannabis which is found to be non-addictive is already legally available in markets of other countries where Filipinos are exposed to. We visit those countries and siguro unwittingly, in good faith, nabibili, nadadala rito. Tinatanong ko, nararamdaman nyo na ba yan? Nangyayari ba yan? How do you treat such a situation? Okay, sabi nyo, you cannot change the annex or any, you need the law. Okay, klaro. So how do you treat them? You file cases against them? Are the cases non-bailable? Para maramdaman namin ng urgency kung gano'n because may konting unfairness na doon. Pero tama yun, you're implementing the law. Ignorance of the law excuses no one, but the legislators must react to situations on the ground, Mr. President.
Well, depende, Your Honor, daw kung non-billable or not, depende sa threshold. Or the nature of the position, that's trafficking. Then, pinagpasok mo dito. Non-billable yun. So, non-billable, Your Honor.
Non-bailable.
Non-billable. Non-billable.
Okay, so,
Oh.
I don't know, that's, ako,
Importation.
that's why tinatanong ko yung what is happening on the ground and it's from the knowledge of the DDB. So, okay, so siguro nga we need to urgently revisit this kasi baka in good faith binibili dun eh. So, but we're limiting it to that extract which scientific data is telling us that it is non-addictive, di ba? Di ba? Yun naman yata yung and even non-addictive and non-mind altering. Yun yata ang importante sa lahat eh, Mr. President. So,
Yes, Mr. President, according to DDB, until now, WHO is still in the process of research as far as that
is concerned.
particular,
sige pa.
yeah.
Sige, may
Include pa daw.
yung may alam siguro yung ibang countries pero hindi naman tayo rin siyempre gaya-gaya lamang. I'm just worried about those who will be facing criminal cases na wala namang criminal intent. Although this is a special law, so criminal intent is not necessary for the commission of the crime. So Mr. President, so thank you. No? Wala kasi ako ibang mapagtanungan except PIDEA and DDB for the actual situation on the ground. Ngayon, ito siguro last topic. Ito po, I cannot let this go kasi malaki yung halaga doon sa ating there's a COA finding of lack of periodic monitoring and control procedures resulting in unliquidated fund transfers totaling 315 million pesos as of December 31, 2022. So, siguro, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. President, paano ba nila ito i-address, Mr. President?
The DDB Secretariat, Your Honor, has proposed to the board stringent measures to better facilitate the fund transfer, monitoring and liquidation of the funds provided to drug abuse treatment and rehabilitation facilities, including community-based drug rehabilitation facilities. The additional mechanism aims to further streamline the accountability procedure in fund transfer. Your Honor.
The recipients are also government entities or private entities?
Yes, Your Honor, they are drug treatment rehabilitation center and local government units that are maintaining and operating rehabilitation centers.
What other agency operates a drug rehabilitation center aside from an LGU?
DOH, Your Honor.
DOH.
DOH.
Pero ang pera, nasa DDB ang pera, and then
It's DDB is the conduit of the funds, Your Honor. Dinadaan lang sa DDB, then dinidistribute din sa kanila.
released by the DBM?
DBM to DDB, then
Yes.
there's a MOA between DDB and the implementer of the
Yes,
rehabilitation
oo.
program. Your
Okay,
Honor.
saan kaya, if just in case anybody knows, sang item in the GAA kinukuha ng DBM yung transferred amount? Meron ba yun? Special?
SEJF, Your Honor, special account under general fund.
So not, okay. So it's an automatic appropriation siguro. Just inform us saan nanggagaling yung amounts to be deposited to that SAGF account, Mr. President. Sige, kahit na in writing na lang po, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor.
So and then I hope by next year wala na po ito. We do not encounter this report. Maliliquidate na natin itong 315.7 million.
Yes, Your Honor. DDB promised to limit these deficiencies next year. If possible, totally eliminate all these deficiencies. But
Yes.
they will do their best, Your Honor. Because that is a recurring problem, Your Honor. And,
Hindi, bakit nga?
We hope it will not recur next year.
It's-
Bakit recurring?
It's an ongoing program. Dapat natututo tayo over the years, Mr. President. Hindi na siya recurring problem.
Your Honor, every year they are released with that 77 million, and if the projects are implemented in 2 years, so naturally the
Hindi
following year hindi pa tapos itong project na ito. So talaga recurring talaga kasi yung ibang project maybe aabot ng 3 years. So at the end of the year magkakaroon talaga ng COA findings na gano'n, Your Honor.
Okay. But
So
siguro-
kaya nga maganda na rin at binibigyan sila ng avenue to explain themselves.
dapat nalilesen din.
At talaga, Your Honor,
Apo.
dapat malilisen.
So, is the DDB a recipient of any confidential or intelligence fund?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Congratulations. And then last topic, Mr. President, have you heard of dangerous drugs being given as a reward?
Your Honor,
Nababasa natin 'yan eh. Gusto ko ba i-confirm kung totoo?
yes, that has been taken up in almost all our committee hearings, no? But PDEA and DDB and even the PNP always deny that policy. Talagang non-existent yan na policy, Your Honor. Kung meron mang gumagawa niyan, maybe yung mga it is not sanctioned or talagang it's downright prohibited by the leadership of this agency, Your Honor. But anyway, the Director General PDEA gave stern warning to the operatives to never do this kind of reward system. PDEA strictly implements the Operation Private Eye, which was institutionalized through Dangerous Drugs Board regulation as a reward system for our private informants, which is anchored on Section 22 of Republic Act number 916. Meaning cash ang reward ng mga informants, Your Honor, hindi talaga drugs. We also require our operatives to use body-worn cameras during operations to promote integrity in the anti-illegal drug campaign and ensure compliance with the law on the proper disposition of illegal drugs. So, they are very consistent in denying that accusation, Your Honor.
Okay. If our sponsor says na it never happened, I will no longer pursue it kasi in-entertain natin, chismis na eh. So if it never happened, our sponsor says hindi nangyari yan. He's our top-notch investigator here in the Senate. Alam niya nangyayari. So,
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
I will not pursue it anymore kasi di ba? Pinapropagate natin yung kwento, hindi pala totoo.
Yes, Your
sige
Honor.
po.
It was clearly explained by no less than General Morolaso during one of our hearings that meron lang, yung pag-upo niya, meron lang nagpapasiklab na informant na lumapit, nag-offer, at right away, sinabihan niya, it is not our policy. Merong, hindi siya part of the PNP or
Yes.
PDA organization, isang civilian
I get it.
na informant.
Nakwento lang niya yung
Nakwento.
offer. And the offer involved, sabi niya na, I'll give you information on this. Ito yung hall ninyo.
Basta ibalik nyo sa akin ng ganito.
So nakwento. Okay. Yun ang nagbigay ng buhay sa isa pang kwento na wala naman palang factual basis. So,
Yes, Your
so
Honor.
thank you for that clarification, Mr. Sponsor. And I find the overall the level of the budget of the dangerous drugs boards at a reasonable level, Mr. President. So we wish you all the best. Pero next time you encounter a dilemma, share the dilemma with us para alam namin na it's already a dilemma to you. Ano? Okay,
Yes.
hindi yung nagtatanong pa tayo ngayon and then you tell us it's a dilemma na pala. So, ano po tayo? Proactive. Let's take some proactive steps kasi evolving din yung evolving ang science, 'di ba? Gumagalaw din ang science and this is also based the list, the annexes are based on scientific findings. So, thank you. We wish the Dangerous Drugs Board all the best and once again we thank our sponsor, Mr. President. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Minority Leader. Salamat.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, there being no other reservation for interpellation, I move that we close the period of interpellation and consider the budget of the Dangerous Drugs Board and PDEA to be deemed submit.
There being no...
Only Dangerous Drugs Board.
PDA, may PDA ka? Yeah, meron pa PDA.
Okay.
I have questions for PDEA. I thought
Okay.
that was the
So
procedure
Dangerous
we're
Drugs
following.
Board
So
na.
Dangerous Drugs Board we approve, Mr. President.
Okay.
I'll recall my motion, Mr. President.
Yes, to be amended to just the Dangerous Drugs Board.
Dangerous Drugs Board.
There being no objection, the motion is approved that the budget of the Dangerous Drugs Board is hereby deemed submitted. We'll ask now the PDEA to remain.
PDEA is already seated there with us. Okay. So let's continue, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Okay. PDEA is a recipient of CIF.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it CF or IF?
It's CF, Your Honor.
To the tune of
500 million, Your Honor.
is this has PDEA been getting this amount year after year, Mr. President?
Yes, Your Honor. It has been consistent since
For how many years na siguro? At
since 2019, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's 500.
Yes.
But before 2019, mababa lang, Your Honor. Mababa, 400 plus, 200 plus the year before. Then it was 2016 nga, 73 lang.
if I remember correctly, ang PNP magkano? Ang PNP yata CF ng PNP nasa 800 yes, so tama, parehas kami naalala ni Senator Tolentino, around 800 million. And that the PNP is enforcing the revised penal code and many other laws, Mr. President. I mean, but in ratio and proportion, is the amount we are giving the PDEA unreasonably high, Mr. President?
Well, Mr. President, pag sinabi ng PNP, kulang sila, sabi rin ng PDEA, kulang na kulang pa rin talaga yan.
Siyempre, kasi pero we have to measure it sa standards po natin as legislators, Mr. President. 500 for PDEA, drugs laws ang niya. 800 for PNP, revised penal code and many other special laws. Ang point ko, hindi sa kulang sa PNP. Are we giving too much to PDEA, Mr. President?
Maybe, Your Honor, because PDEA is combating transnational crimes, Your Honor. Malalaking sindikato ito at medyo mas mahirap kumuha ng informasyon pagdating dito sa drug syndicates, Your Honor.
Pina-enumerate ko sa PNP ang mga achievements nila eh. Kasama sa mga achievements nila are drug-related operations eh. So may nag-overlapping na po tayo sa PNP. And pag tinanong ko po ang PDEA, what are your achievements? Tapos ikukumpara ko ngayon sa sagot dun sa PNP, I'm sure I will find some overlapping dun sa dalawa.
Well, it happens, Your Honor, because they conduct joint operations, Your Honor, the PNP and PDEA. So some accomplishments are joint, and some accomplishments are. But all operations were being sanctioned by PDEA, whether it's being undertaken by PDEA operatives or PNP operatives. Lahat po yan ay under the supervision of PDEA, being the lead agency in the anti-drug operations.
Sige, can we hear from PDEA, Mr. President, through our sponsor, ano po yung, let us say, for the past 2 years, what would be your greatest achievements, Mr. President?
Sana yung
Kahit na hanggang 5 po, the top 5 or the top 3, Mr. President.
Mr. President, for 2023 alone, the accomplishments of PDEA are as follows. 1,068 positive intelligence operations were conducted. 2,386 drug-related negation operations were conducted. 72 high-impact operations were conducted. 3,196 drug personalities were arrested. 50 minors were rescued. 263 high-value targets were arrested. 2.3 billion worth of dangerous drugs were confiscated. 5,702 drug cases were filed in courts. 5 additional Balay Silangan Reformation Centers were established. 1,850 advocacy activities were conducted. 27,903 barangays were drug cleared as of October 31, 2023. That's so far the operational accomplishments of PDEA.
Ito po,
Your Honor.
suggestion lang, Mr. President, na napapansin ko when they announce their achievements, you use the value. Pero I suggest hindi ako tumitingin sa value. We have to look at the volume. Kasi yung value, siyempre, naging 500 pesos, tumaas ang value. Pero look at the volume siguro of the whole of the catch. So, sige, so yung 2.3 billion pesos na nabanggit, ilang kilos po yun and what kind of drugs? Pag nagbabasa nga ako ng mga reports, nakikita ko yung mga amount, billions na. Pero I'm not impressed. Dapat na doon tayo sa ilang kilos po yun, ano pong volume yun.
Yes, Mr. President, as far as volume is concerned, 28,826 kilograms of crystalline shabu, 714 liters of liquid shabu, 99 billion pieces of marijuana plants, 16 billion pieces of marijuana seedlings.
May counting machine sila, Mr. President. You have a counting machine. You counted the seeds.
Well, individually, yung seedlings, Mr. President, hindi seeds. Seedlings. Seedlings talagang.
Seedlings.
By area daw yung competition, Mr. President.
Estimate. We were just lightening the mood, Mr. President. Okay. Estimated yan. Okay. Opo. Sige po, Mr. President. Can we get the assessment of our PDEA Director General on how bad the drug problem is, the illegal or dangerous drugs problem is in the Philippines? How bad is it?
So, Mr. President, the drug situation in the Philippines is still under control. Very much manageable, Mr. President. No cause for alarm as of now, Mr. President. The drug problem is under control. It's not
Okay.
really that bad.
It's not really that bad. Siguro, okay. So, PDEA is a 21-year-old agency, Mr. President?
Yes,
Siguro.
Your Honor.
So, by this time nga siguro, with all of the resources being poured into PDEA, that should be the case. Sana nga, it has become a minor problem because the manufacturers, the traffickers are afraid to come here. Sana ganun ang nangyayari. It's not yet a minor problem?
Yeah, not yet a minor problem, Mr. President.
Ano pang kailangan gawin natin, Mr. President?
But
To make the Philippines unattractive for drug traffickers, importers, and even manufacturers, Mr. President. Ano pa kaya ang kailangan natin gawin? Kasi 21 years old na po ito. Ang laki ng resources na binubuhos natin sa PDEA. Specialized Agency for Drugs. Dapat nararamdaman na natin ang resulta ng devotion of great resources to this to the fight against drugs, illegal drugs, Mr. President.
Again, Mr. President, I think we will go back again to the reimposition of death penalty against those high-profile or high-level drug traffickers, Mr. President, because if you have observed, countries that have that are imposing death penalty, particularly on illegal drugs, are they are not being they are not encountering big problem as far as drug is concerned, like China, Indonesia, Singapore. When you talk to the drug lords in Bilibid, they will say that they will not dare traffic drugs to Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, or China, because for sure they will be killed by because the law is very strict. They will
Killed by the state. Killed by the state. By the
Yeah.
state. Legal. Legal.
No,
What does the sponsor have in mind? Ano yung mga levels natin na which should warrant the death penalty in his mind, Mr. President?
when we say yes, Mr. President, the proposal of PDEA is that if the country of origin of these drugs or the country of origin of the drug offender imposes death penalty, when they are caught here in the Philippines, when they are arrested here in the Philippines, they should be meted with the death penalty also.
Following the same quantities in the country of origin. Kasi I'm sure may quantities din sila
Yes.
doon, sigurado.
Yes, Your Honor. That is why these Chinese are very fond of trafficking drugs to the Philippines because wala tayong death penalty. While in China, sigurado mamamatay sila doon.
Sige po, yung mga nahuhuli natin sa drug cases natin, where are they detained, Mr. President?
Those who are convicted, Mr. President, are serving their sentences at the new Bilibid prisons, while those pending decision sentence, they are still with the BJMP.
BJMP jails.
And,
Okay.
yeah.
Normal procedure. Okay.
Normal, Mr. President.
Hindi ba yung ating mga jails and prisons ay hell on earth? Hindi ba sufficient deterrent na yan to involve in drug trafficking in the Philippines?
Maybe not, Mr. President, because they're enjoying inside, like the drug lords in the Bilibid. They enjoy while they are inside.
Okay. So they don't find it to be hell on earth pala. Okay, Mr. President. Maybe they're under the influence of drugs, Mr. President. Maybe they're still under the influence of drugs. That's why they don't feel the hell on earth being held in jails and prisons here in the Philippines, Mr. President.
Maybe, Mr. President, and others become even more richer while they are incarcerated. While they are serving their sentence, they are even getting richer because
Sige.
the drug trade is continuing.
So that's Bucor and BJMP issues. Anyway, nakalusot na po sila sa process natin. Approve na yung budgets nila. So let me just siguro appeal to the Director General. Sir, there have been past scandals involving PDEA, putting the agency in a bad light. Huwag na natin ulitin siguro para alam na siguro ng taong bayan yun. So siguro, sir, I do not know how you can instill better discipline among your men. No? Kasi
Their internal cleansing program, Your Honor, is still ongoing.
pero
They will not stop.
yung nabasa ba namin, totoo ba yan? Like for example, ayoko na sana i-remind, pero I just need to confirm na yung PDEA personnel or chief trading involved in drug trade, illegal drugs trading in Taguig, tama ba yan? Ang
Yung
nabasa
nahuli.
namin. Totoo yun?
Yes, Your Honor. It was confirmed that talagang nangyari yun.
Your CIF can be used for counterintelligence, and counterintelligence means monitoring your own men, di ba?
Yes.
Why did we fail in that instance, Mr. President?
Counterintelligence, meeting ko sa one. Yes, according to the PDEA chief, Your Honor, the case that you mentioned a while ago was his first accomplishment upon assumption of office.
That
And right
was the result of your counterintelligence work, Ale. Okay, sige.
Yes, Your Honor, through counterintelligence efforts of PDEA and in coordination with the Philippine National Police.
Okay, so you put it to good use in that case, Mr. President. Kasi, ayun, ano yung about Caesar's wife, ano yung kasabihan? Dapat si PDEA, ganun. I mean, I don't know, I need assistance from Senator Tolentino. Ano yun? You should be above suspicion, like Caesar's wife, ganun ba yung ano? So PDEA should be, you should be above suspicion that your own people are trading in or involved in illegal drugs. Malinis dapat kayo kasi otherwise hopeless talaga ang drug situation, Mr. President. So I hope that you have more achievements to come. You're a 21-year-old agency. Sana by the time you're 25 years old, 30 years old, I mean minor problem na siya, as minor as nag-iisip ako anong crime in the RPC which is already
Snatching?
a minor problem, Mr.
Snatching,
President.
Your Honor.
We need PNP data, mga ganon. So, I hope ganun po ang nangyayari. So, even without the need of the reimposition of death penalty, kasi divisive issue yun, magtatagal po talaga. If that is the solution, therefore parang we're admitting there is no solution kasi ano yan, that will be debated to death actually.
Yes, yes.
That is the penalty for the proposal for the reimposition of death penalty.
Is
It
debate
is the
to
death
death.
penalty itself. We will debate it to death, Mr. President. So, sana po, sa next time, hindi po yun ang sagot kasi otherwise parang walang sagot. So, when I ask for the, ano pa pwede natin gawin, sana hindi po yun ang sagot, Mr. President.
Yes, we just hope and pray with the current leadership of PDEA, Your Honor, I can assure you, I know General Morolaso, how strict he is and he was and he will be.
When did the General become the PDEA chief? When?
During the assumption of this current
July 1?
administration, July 1,
20?
November 2019, Your Honor. At 2022.
Okay, November 2022, isang taon pa lang. Isang taon.
pa
Sige,
lang.
we wish you all the best, Director General. Sabi nating sponsor, you are a reformer, so you are a strict person, straight. Sige, we wish you all the best. Suporta kami kung ganyan po kayo.
Nung
Hindi ko kayo
kanitip-
kilala, pero I'm sure kilala ka na yung sponsor. So,
Nung kaniti pa kami, Your Honor, pag makita ko si General Lasso, ay talagang nagkikinto na kami sa hallway. Kung makasibat pa kami, sibat. Pero kung hindi makasibat, talaga nagkikinto na kami. Dahil
upperclassman, upperclassman.
upper class ko po siya. And hindi ka talaga makalusot sa kanya pag mahinang klase ka.
Sige po, we wish you all the best. Pero, pasensya na, General, because we will have to really strictly monitor the activities of your agency. And we will be sensitive to complaints, reports that we read, feedback from the ground. Abuses ang ating pagbawalan, abuses, and then just be more disciplined in the conduct of your activities and the performance of your mandate. So we wish you all the best and thank you, Mr. Sponsor. Salamat po.
Thank you, Minority Leader. Maraming salamat po.
Very much, Minority Leader. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, again, there being no other reservation for interpellation, I move that we close the period of interpellation and consider the budget of PDEA to be deemed submitted for the body's consideration.
There being no objection to the motion, Majority Floor Leader, the budget of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency is hereby deemed submitted. Congratulations, gentlemen.
1 minute suspension.
Just on a side note,
Oh.
baby ko din yan because I was a member of Congress. I was the principal author of the Dangerous Drugs Law together with Senator Barbers. Kasama ko noon si Congressman Cuenco and myself. We were the principal authors. So, offshoot yun. We created the PDEA. So, congratulations for how many years?
21 years.
21 years old na pala sila. 21 years old.
Does that mean, Mr. President, that you've been the legislature for that very long time already.
Yes, 25 na po ako, sir. 25.
25.
Yes, sir.
25, sorry. 25.
25 years na po. When I end my term, 30 years. Kaya pahinga na.
30 years.
Time to fade away like a good soldier, like Sergeant General Angkan here, who's
So hanggang dito lang tayo mga tol. Maraming salamat sa panonood at patuloy na suporta. God bless you sa inyo lahat at hanggang sa muli. Paalam!